pondered something today, and it's so crazy because, bitch, I screamed my season in. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna say it that way. I screamed my season in today, so that's crazy. Okay, and I gotta log that. But anyway, I've been sitting here thinking about this for so freaking long, and this, I think, has come to a crux, not a crux or cross for me, but it has come to a point where I want to lay this thought down. I don't know if I even want to think about it anymore, like heavily, unless I can get concrete answers for it. But someone needs to tell me if the winter solstice is not the birth of Christ. Someone needs to tell me when. And they got to come up against in order for me to understand and really accept it as valid, they got to come up against the questions that I have about the natural world. The natural world is a world of magic. We live in magic. I think that the biggest curse upon humanity is that we don't understand our world. We don't understand how to make magic because we're stupid. Myself included. I think that we're stupid. And this is why I think we're stupid. Not, I promise you, I'm not trying to be condescending. Please don't think I'm trying to be condescending, but we're stupid. I think that the biggest curse on humanity is that we cannot see magic. And we don't know how to do magic. We don't know how to do the things that we feel intrinsically in our bodies and in our minds and our imagination. And we try so hard, but I don't think that certain levels of genius and magic is going to be available to everyone. I honestly don't. I don't believe certain levels of genius, magic, abilities, I don't think that right now it's going to be available, because I have so many questions. Like, the birth of Christ is my number one thing that has been really racking my brain. Because all of these people, and I've been hearing this forever, Christmas is not when Jesus was really born, but no one lays out when did it happen. Okay, what is the allegorical time, or when did the real person? No one gives anything to show for Christmas not being that. Like in any world, whether it's law or science, you have to be able to produce a tangible result that we can all observe to then, technically, in order to make it a fact, not only can we observe it, but we can reproduce it over and over and over and over. And it may improve, it may progress, there may be processions in it, but we can see the thing again and again and again. And we may not understand completely how the fuck it works, but we can see it. So I think humanity, I think the curse is that we can't see magic. I think that we live in a very magical world. I believe that we are not able to understand high frequency words. And because we don't have the awareness, we can't produce it. I think that people who sing, if we were to unlock, everyone would be able to sing. And I believe that certain tones in which we sing would open up certain columns in our brain, in our auditory faculty, which informs our brain, and it would help adjust what we see. Because sound also reverberates off of surfaces, and surfaces can expand sound, but it can also help our perception, our depth perception. People who are blind will hit at something to hear the sound bounce off of a surface, to get an understanding of where the distance of something is, where's the sound reverberating. Okay? And I think that we are under a mass spell. Because think about what I'm going to say here. Like, I've been hearing recently over the last 7 years that people say that we're under a dome. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying yes or no to it. I'm waiting just for the facts. And people say that inside of the dome, right? Just hear me out for a second. I'm going to go into my other thoughts because y'all signed up and you logged in to listen to this shit either through the shadows or came right in here. I didn't force you. Damn it. Okay, so this is what is keeping me up tonight. Okay, so, all right. We live in a dome. Okay, gotcha. Good. Okay, all right. And the sun and the moon are inside the dome. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I honestly think that either I'm dumb as shit or I'm smart and that scares the shit out of me. Because if I think different than most people, I'm in this bitch by myself. And that scares the fuck out of me right there. So I would rather just be like, bitch, you need to get it together. And I have the opportunity cost of being raised into awareness than the unfortunate revelation that I'm thinking on a level and not an IQ. I'm talking about just thinking and conceptualizing on a level in which I can't share this with anyone in any meaningful way that makes me feel like I'm in a community, okay, of like minds. Being in a community of like minds is a luxury, okay? Some people get in a community because they don't like a bitch, okay? Some people get in a community because they have a common person that they hate, okay? It's very satisfying. And some people get in communities and think other people are like them when the people that are just fucking people pleasers. And they just don't want to be alone. But they don't actually think like them. They placate to them until they don't need them anymore. So it's very rare to be around people who can give you and bounce things back and forth off of you in a genuine way. And when you're having these thought processes, can actually add to what you're thinking. Like add to and add life and color and texture to what you're thinking, or even correct you. I just want to be corrected. Most of the time, I just want to be corrected. I really do. I want to be told, girl, this is what it is. And I'm like, oh, I want to have those moments. That's what I want. Okay? So people project on me, you're a know-it-all bitch. If what I believe is true, I'm frightened. Do you understand? If what I believe is true, this is a scary bitch to exist in for me. So please understand, I purposely will put some shit out there to be proven the fuck wrong. Okay? Because being insane and out of it might just be better. Okay? Ignorance is motherfucking bliss. I don't give a fuck what you say. Bitch, even with all the knowledge about Neo, how I may take the blue pill. You understand me? Type of shit. Like, it's not fun. So I don't think I don't want that to be me. Okay? You want to be amongst people, because people ostracize people who think differently, even if what they're thinking is for the betterment of the group. People are very cruel to people who think outside the box. People, like, I even had a situation where someone was like, it don't matter, like when I observed this yesterday, it's like, you shouldn't be winning, saying this about Sagittarius. And that pissed me off, because I'm like, okay, if I was bold enough to not, in my loneliness, to work hard for something, to face failure, to face people laughing at me, to face this, to perfect myself, and had enough courage to put something out, it'd be rejected. Do it again, change it up, it'd be rejected, and I'm winning. I deserve to win. And then the person was like, well, it's just not satisfying when you win versus this person. Are you fucking serious right now? Do you think what are you, the reason we look at like look to athletes is for inspiration, because they push the ability further. They give us things to aspire for, even if we never get there. It's better to shoot far and get halfway than to not shoot at all. It's better to shoot your shot and almost make a basket than not shoot at all. Because I guarantee if you continue to shoot, eventually you're going to make a basket and you're going to continue to make them, and they're going to get nicer every single time that you shoot. But if you don't do it at all, you won't get any better. You're always going to suck at it. It's very rare that someone comes out the pussy with it all together. It has to be something you work on. So, like, to me, it's like crazy that you would aspire to hurt someone or humble someone who has deserved, for all intents and purposes, has nothing is given to them. Like, that shit pissed me off. It made me want to fight. Literally, I wanted to jump into the fucking screen and put my heel to a motherfucker's nose. Do you understand me? Like, kick the door in, kick the mouth in. Like, I want to kick the teeth to the back of the throat. But I can't do that because that's illegal. And I would go to jail. And they would put me on lithium, which would be awesome. Because what the fuck are we doing here, okay? They used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola, you know, all right? But I'm just saying, all right? People say, oh, this is really bad for you. No, bitch, being aggravated 24/7 is bad for you. Knock me the fuck out, okay? Because this ride is crazy. This is a trip I can't get off of. I don't see how you bitches do mushrooms. Because I'm like tripping for the stupids. Or either I'm stupid, then a motherfucker, anyway, okay, all right. Let me stick on it. All right, so we're in a dome. This is what I've been trying to figure out, okay? We're in a dome. And the sun and the moon are under the dome. And all that we see outside, the stars and shit, right? The planets, those are projections. And all of this shit is by the CIA and all of the people, the powers that be, right? Right, okay. I'm not questioning it. It could be listen, at this point, bitch, that might actually be what it is. But this is where I'm disturbed about it. Who the fuck constructed the dome and put the gas ball and the moon under it for us to see and set up the projections? And this is the reason why I'm going to ask you this question. When we look at art, clearly there's a daytime and there's a nighttime. There are stars. There are depictions from 5, 6, and 7,000 years ago of stars, planetary bodies, constellations, carvings of such, and carvings denoting the sun versus the moon, nighttime versus daytime. Okay? If that dome and those projections have been here for over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 years, are we dumb? Like, what the fuck? Are we a recessed intelligence? Because what the fuck, okay? Like, what kind of intelligence had to exist, bitch? Just hear me out. Because I'm not high. I swear to God, I'm 100% sober. I haven't smoked marijuana or taken a marijuana product outside of a THC, CBD, muscle relaxant outside my skin, which had no psychedelic effects. Okay? I think the last time I smoked weed was like 2.5 maybe years ago. And before then, it was like a year or two. It's literally, I think I haven't really smoked since my grandmother died. And that was 2022. And we're in 2025. Okay? Just to kind of give you perspective. All right? I'm not high on shit. I do have ADHD, and yes, I do medicate for ADHD, but bitch, it would have went down by now. So we're running on pure, I think that when I sniff myself, I get high. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm the cocaine. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure it out. Are we dumb than a bitch? Like, because what intelligence had nigga? What intelligence created the dome and put a fucking ball of fire that either rotates around this bitch or we are rotating around it? A moon to entertain the fuck out of us, right, on Earth. And projections of constellations above, right? When art that's over 3, 4, 5,000 years depicts constellations, day and night, sun and moon, what type of persistent intelligence is this? And are we dumb? Because if the CIA, which is, even if it's extraterrestrial, humans had to be smart at some point. That means we extra dumb. I seen a bitch today dress up like a big cat and said, Daddy, I'm hungry. I'm being shady as fuck right now. When the female lionesses are the ones who do the hunting. Bitch, I'm done. You hear me? Are we dumb? 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 This is an Aquarius. So if an Aquarius is dumb, woo, bitch, we're dumb. We're dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, what part of this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Bitches be trying to get at you. Bitch ain't never talked about segment really until the kid introduced it, because the bitch got to get the juice. Always sucking the pussy juices. You know what I'm saying? That's probably where the blood came from today. The blood of Christ. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just going to be shady forever. I'm sorry. It is what the fuck it is. Okay? Bitch, it's a contract for life. I'm always going to do it. Okay? I find great pleasure in it, quite frankly. But anyway, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, but did you catch how the nigga got mad though? When I said you can always do this though. Did you catch how he got mad? I'm just saying, listen. You can't make this shit up. Anyway, cause fuck both of y'all. That's real talk. Okay? Catch them T's. Alright? That motherfucker got mad. I lined it up and said, this is what you need for what you're talking about. Because you can't be talking to me. You cannot be talking. You need this right here. Because that right there will let you do all those things. And some. You need that. I'm not going to argue with you about it, baby. I'm so sick and tired of the bitch. You need that. You need to go get that one off. And he got mad. That motherfucker got mad. I can't even throw a nigga at you. That's what I'm talking about. That's the shit I be talking about. But anyway, you know, let's stick on the topic, not being shady. Are we dumb? Are we dumb? Are we dumb? Like, I want to do a song and dance. Or the CIA could easily be like a nice Templar organization. There are organizations that are over 5,000 years old. As a matter of fact, what did they say? Oxford is older than some of the fucking Middle American, Mesoamerican groups that gave rise to who we see today in Mexico and in fucking Colombia and shit, bitch. Peru. They say that Oxford is older than that. So it's not far-fetched that there are organizations, and I truly believe that there are organizations that are over thousands of years old that could absolutely be the elite and some. and who they answer to. But that essentially means that at some point, humanity or species was intelligent or contacted by a level of intelligence that denotes that who we are now, we are so retarded in comparison to what the fuck we were. You understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, humans were depicted as knowing advanced calculations, and anyone who came up with a sundial, whoever came up with the sundial was, listen, that shit, they snapped. There has been found in the sea an ancient computer, and what they denote it as a computer is because it helps you calculate dates, and it's from, I think, the Roman Greco era. And so if humans were doing this without computers, they were spending their days thinking like this and could appreciate it. Are we dumb? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we as a society dumb? Because we are not able to reproduce information. And that goes back to me saying, so if it's not a dome, and these are not projections, and the ancients have it right, they understood the calculation, they understood, then that must mean that they were observing the natural earth, or they were the natural world. And that would make sense. Because I'm trying to understand, everyone says the astrological year. But the astrological year takes place around the time that the sun is exalted. And I've never seen a human baby run out of a coochie full speed like a goddamn horse. I just never seen it. Are we talking in human? Or are we talking in horse? Because I know horses can be birthed in goats and stuff, and with the hooves and whatnot, the hooves. And they have to get up and start galloping and shit. You know what I'm saying? I get that. Whales got to get up there and start swimming. Everybody else got to get out the ass and get it to go. They got to have it to go. They got to have the takeout. They don't get to, they don't get to sit and be taken care of in that level of vulnerability. They got to go. Either that or we were running out of our mama's coochie, ready to go. Right? So how is birth of the sun, which sun in astrology represents our vitality, happening in Aries season? If you haven't planted your seeds by April, what? Bitch, you might kind of be fucked. Because you're supposed to plant your seeds by April. April showers bring May flowers. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Little farmer's almanac situation, right? What are we actually talking about here? And all of this because I have been locked on trying to figure out. I have scoured the internet trying to understand, when was Christ born then? And can we observe the event in the natural world? Can we reproduce the phenomena in the natural world? Because the natural world, it has been proven, is set to the perfection of the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio, which means that the patterns repeat themselves over and over again. And even when you understand the function of a thing, the functions repeat themselves, but in different ways for different organisms and different purposes. Like different organisms that serve different purposes in the natural world. But we can locate a brain in a tree. We can locate veins in a tree. We can locate age. And we can also find similar mechanisms in a bird. We can find similar mechanisms for each type of living thing, even if it looks and differs in texture, like type of life cycle. We can see a sequence of repeating cycles that denote that it's an organic life. Okay? We can make some similarities if we were to really dissect the purpose of organic beings. So we can see nature repeat itself, right? If we're going to say Christ is an allegory, what was the date? When did it happen? And give me the factoids. Give me the website. Give me the study material. Show me how you deduced that the sun was birthed any other time than the winter solstice. I know this is a lot based on that one. I am annoying. God bless the man or people who have to deal with me in old age, because bitch, this is where I'm at 3 a.m. sometimes. You understand me? Like, I am for real going down like, what the fuck? And going through the motions and laughing, but almost crying too at the same time. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why do we have a sun and a moon under a dome? Everything else is a projection, but the same things were depicted 5,000, 6,000 years ago, but none of us can recreate a dome projection ourselves, nor can we see a miniature model of it. But when they explain the planetary bodies from the other perspective of it not being under a dome, we can recreate that, and we can actually see orbiting isotopes. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to recreate it if what you're saying is true. It should be something that you see consistently. That's magic. The consistency of something is magic. If you observe anything for long enough, you're going to see a pattern. It's pattern recognition. You're going to see a pattern. And then if you start tracing that pattern, you're going to get to a bigger picture as to why it exists and why it operates on that schedule every year, every 2.5 years, or whatever. I'm just trying to understand, how do we not think? Or I might think too much. I might be slow. I might actually be overthinking some shit. That's cool. I'm okay with that. That leaves me room to improve. But if I am having a series of questions that I'm thinking about and I'm irritating people, but I'm right, that means I'm surrounded by idiots. And that scares the shit out of me, because you can't, that should never be put on somebody. And it doesn't mean I'm better or great. I'm actually the worst in the world. That's how it feels. Like, if you have more like decency and respect for people and yourself, people hate you for that. People hate you for being wealthy. People hate you for being gifted. When you have a rare function, it makes you something to want to kill and destroy. So I would rather have the defect than the other thing, because the other thing makes for a terrible life. Like, if you think about it, because if we are really dumb, then that's a life of loneliness, because you can't talk to anyone about the things, and then people will constantly inundate you with things that don't make sense to you. You literally will start to feel like your skin is crawling because someone's conversation is dumb when you see something else, and then when you try to explain it, you're irritating or hurting their feelings and their ego. And it's like, God damn, so I can't even be able to question reality. You just accept it like this. You just accept your hormones. You just accept your biological process. You don't question anything. You just go with it. Like an animal, you're not the intelligent species that was granted the ability to shepherd and protect the natural world and to rule the natural world. You are to be herded like an animal, because you are regulated to just your biological processes. That's the only thing you know how to do. Oh, then in that case, AI should take over. Because at that point, we might be able to raise the frequency, even if it is an evil machine. It would force humans to have to think in order to survive. It would force, if you had a bunch of robots who were coming after you. They're not going to kill everybody. That means the ones that survive are superior, right? And that knowledge has been proven to change the genetics. And if they're superior at a young age and can reproduce, then they're going to produce children that are far more superior than we think now. And I think that we are lazy and we are not in survival mode, and therefore we're not able to innovate. We're reliant upon everything else to give us something. So we're not inventive. We don't think. We don't think. Everything's so automated. We don't think. It's instant gratification. There's no, let me work on the way I do. Let me work on my social skills. Let me work on how I'm behaving amongst people. Let me give people the benefit of the doubt. Let me do something where I'm socially better than I was yesterday. It's, oh, I'm wrong. Well, bitch, fuck you. Fuck the system. Like, we're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's like we don't take anything to say, you know what, you're right. That was kind of fucked up what I did. And that's kind of fucked up to beat down someone else who deserves what they have, all because I didn't come out the pussy operating at that level of performance. I'm going to hate the heroes. I'm going to hate the Olympians. I'm going to hate the Titans who can show work for their evolution because I don't want to do the work. That's wild to me. So do we want a society of lazy, non-thinking, single-cell amoebas? I think that that's where we're headed. People are irritated with people who are exceptional. And I'm going to say something here. The reason why I believe this is I believe that the world stopped being smart when women were forced to be stupid. I believe that the world started regressing in intelligence when the world relied on physical strength and brawn to conquer and forced women to be subservient and stupid. Think about what I'm saying. You got to be kind of stupid to say, feed me daddy, and you are dressing up like a wildcat when the female species is the most dangerous and the most successful and skilled hunters. Right? You understand what I'm saying? For attention, for validation. And it's not stupid. It's actually not stupid. I'm just being a bitch right now. It's not stupid. It's survival. You need to be, as a woman, sexually attentive. If you are able to reproduce images or present yourself in a way that's sexually appealing, it means that the people who have been given power, it's better and more likely that you can land a relationship with them because of your sexual ability and willingness to do certain things in exchange for their financial security, because that's hardwired into certain genetic people to lead from that position, because otherwise you're going to starve. So it's not dumb what she did when she put that up there, because she's literally saying, feed me because I can't feed myself. This is what I have to offer because I can't hunt for myself. I don't have much intelligence. I don't have much charm. I don't have really great social skills. I'm afraid of people. I don't really know how to network and maintain friendships. And because I don't know how to trust women or myself, if I don't appeal to you, I'm going to starve. You understand? That's intelligence. That denotes that women are intelligent. And that is that person responding to the environment in 2025, which is a barometer of us heading towards a maiden's tale more than anything. Because in 2025, the fact that the number one jobs are OnlyFans denotes that women are not actually becoming more equal. women are in fact in survival mode and utilizing sexuality to the point that if you even mention Puritan culture, the reason people are having visceral reactions to that is because that is the only way that in this world with Trump in office, the men and what is happening in workplaces, that is the only way we're going to survive, is to have the ability to lure men in sexually because they're the only ones being able to work and earn money. So if they are being the only ones hired, if they don't like us sexually, we're going to die or we're going to be forced into servitude. If they are gay, we're going to die or we're going to be forced into servitude. And good God, if they learn how to birth children from a machine, we're gone. They would genetically make it so that only men, even if it's to their destruction, because the intelligence doesn't come from men. The only reason that men run the world is that it became a mandate that women could not have a share in it. It's not because we're incapable. It was a change in the regime. It's religious and political change and greed. Honestly, we would be a much more intelligent society if women and men never subjugated themselves to owning one sex over the other. And if we were maximizing the abilities of both men and women, we would actually be further along as a society with IQ. We would be so much further along if we were exploiting all of the abilities of men and women working in tangent together, whether they were heterosexual or homosexual. Okay? I'm just going to tell you straight up and down. Men still run the world. Even if you are a gay man, you're going to out-earn gay women. 5-0. Even in industries that are catering to women. Because it's a man's world. It was designed that way. The research is available. We're in the information age. The world is dumb because women were forced to be. Of course you're going to be catty if your bread and butter is if he likes fucking you. Think about that. Think about this. If you truly were equal, all of these displays and shit you wouldn't see. Why are women bitter? Because of all of the shit that they're doing. Women don't like sucking dick and having anal sex. We force ourselves to like it in order. I mean, we love it for who we love. But just as a bargaining piece for a random motherfucker, y'all think prostitutes enjoy prostituting? Because it's almost like they're stacking their money so at some time they don't have to anymore. I'm not saying that we're opposed to sex. I'm not saying that we're opposed to doing certain acts. But it's all connected to survival. Because in that case, it don't matter what you look like and it don't matter how big your dick is. If women can rub two clitorises together and have a guaranteed orgasm, how big your dick is doesn't matter. Think about that for a second. There's 100% orgasm success rate with two women with two clitorises rubbing them together. There's 100% success rate for orgasm. And you bitches and you niggas are running around talking about big dicks. With only 64% and not even all the time of women having orgasms. But when two women lock the legs, it is 100% success rate for an orgasm. The tongue is not even 3 inches. Even if it is the longest, 3 or 4 inches. If you eat her out, it's 100% success rate of an orgasm. And y'all out here worried about dick size, it's because you're a dick. And we got to be able, and if your dick is big, we can swirl ourselves around it. Not because of you, because you probably sitting there looking like a fucking idiot, and we can swirl ourselves around it and position it right on the G-spot and just gyrate enough to bring ourselves to an orgasm. You know, either under you or over you. That's about the length of why, if you think about it. It's the guarantee that we can stimulate our G-spot from the inside. And we can please you and have you pay our bills, because we don't want to suck off the old men in order to move up the ladder. And Susan already is taking several nuts to the face, and there's only can be one, and I don't want to wait in line. So I'm not going to be able to make the money because I can't. Okay? It's eventually going to fuck my nerves up. Okay? That's it. It's not hard. Like this, like men really be thinking that women do these things inherently for survival. It's for survival. And it is a coping mechanism for abuse. If they've been abused, they learn to crave a thing in order to deal with life and the reality. Because whenever they're quiet, they remember some things that are not so pleasant to remember. So they got to drink, they got to get high, and they got to fuck, because then there's action going on, and I don't have to think about where I developed the habit, why I developed the drinking problem, why I developed the sex addiction. I don't have to think about when that started in the quiet of my mind. If I got drama, if I'm competing with bitches, if there's drama that I'm distracting myself with. I don't have to think about all of these things, because I'm a naturally an intelligent being as a female with all 3 sexual hormones coursing through my veins. I'm a natural calculator. I'm a natural alarm clock. And I have pretty much I'm a fully functioning machine. But if I have to sit down and think about where I am in life, the men I've dealt with, and what was happening to me before I even understood what sex was, if I have to sit down with myself, I might want to jump off this fucking building. So let me distract myself with drama with the bitches I don't like. Let me have a competition for beauty. Okay, because I need some validation. Because if I don't, at least, if I'm not beautiful, I won't survive in this world. I won't sell records, even though I'm fucking intelligent. And as a matter of fact, if I even show you I'm intelligent, you might try to kill me. You might rape me. You might do something to harm me. Did you know that the countries with the highest rapes are countries in which women are covered from head to toe? So that shoots down the argument of decency and about dress. Well, you dressing like that, you deserve what else did you expect that nigga was going to touch you? But why is it that the countries with the highest amounts of rape, highest situations with rape, women are covered from head to toe? As a matter of fact, men almost routinely go after little girls who are not even sexually dressed. All because it's a taboo. And it's sexually stimulating. Because society does not raise men or socialize men with any sexual restraint whatsoever. Did you know, like, that's wild? And even to the fact that we don't even require anything to get pregnant by a nigga. But if you have a bunch of, like, if a man is really dumb, his children are going to be really dumb. And if you got a bunch of dumb people They're going to keep doing dumb shit. And that means that we're going to see a great regression in society. That it actually benefits society for women to be choicy and to not give in to anyone, and to not give in to someone who's lazy, who doesn't actually have money and property, because that means that his sperm produces men that are stupid, who don't know how to problem solve. His sperm are lazy, like he is. His sperm have mental defects. The child may be born even more retarded than the dad is. And because of the breeder nature installed into black people in these United States of America, and the way in which we have sex, now that we're not enslaved, is indicative of the ways in which we were forced in slavery. There is no discretion of who you have kids by. So we literally have people who have a microphone on the internet saying that a woman gave him her femininity, and his God-given job on earth is to bust a nut with several women and have a bunch of children. This nigga is thriving. He is an absolute freak of nature because his own mind doesn't let itself get more mature. His mind doesn't even progress anymore than where he's at. Okay? That means his children are going to be just as ineffectual in everything but fucking, and producing children that they cannot take care of. So we're not even choicey. And when black women exercise any idea where he needs to have money, he needs to this, well, you should just accept the average guy. Nigga, you wouldn't be average. That's the point I'm trying to make. You would not, in a normal world where you are competing with your peers of other races, you would not be in poverty. If you were the way you were prior to slavery, the ingenious that was in you, prior to red 40, yellow 30, and all of these preservatives and shit that was placed in the food, you would be laughing at niggas that talk like this. That man would be everyone would not want to associate with that person because they wouldn't want them to influence their children because of how low their IQ is. Because it would be so unreasonable that someone was that dumb in their mind that no one would, they'll say whatever contributed to that person being like that or thinking like that, we got to make sure society doesn't do that. We can't have, we got to have tests to see if kids are going to be like him, so we can make sure that we either correct it or we understand genetically that this person should not have kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? They should not reproduce because we need to take care of this while the kid is an infant so that they have a normal brain, their brain can develop past the age of 12. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that women are dumb or made to be dumb is why society is dumb. Because if the women were not dumb, I promise you, listen, about 80% of men alive around the globe would be virgins. Some of you niggas would have never even known what vagina smells like if women were not dumb. You would really be mad at these niggas who be stunting on y'all if women were not dumb. If women were not dumb, I'm going to just use that. I'm not talking about intellect. I'm just going to use it as an example. If women were not dumb, there would be Chris Brown, like intelligent niggas, right? They're smart, innovative, like, I'm just saying, because the way he able to draw women in. These men who are intelligent, resourceful, competitive, and able to do all of these miraculous things amongst the thousands and hundreds and millions of men would take up so many women that are in willing harems, willing harems. For the survival of their children, they would want to only mate with the smartest, the most effective, the most genius, the most handsome, the one who has the answers, in order to bring up a crop of men and women who have those attributes. The dumbing down of women made vagina and sex accessible to more men. And also, the issue is that it also ensured that the quality of intelligence, it basically, women being dumb means that we are birthing slaves. After there was such great success with the Atlantic slave trade with blacks, those systems are going to be applied to everyone in the world to create a new slave state or a new permanent underclass. And the dumber the women are, the more sexualized the women are, it ensures that they're going to be open to all sorts of men who also are dumb. And when you have a populace of dumb people, they don't question the people who are in authority. They don't question cruelty. Because if they were in cruelty and being mean is a thing of low IQ. The higher the IQ, the more empathy a person has. So being a competitive, warring, all of these things are indicative of low IQs. So when a woman is extremely insecure and very competitive with other women for no fucking reason, it's indicative that she doesn't have intelligence, or those intelligent parts of her mind are shut down or are dormant. Dormant is a better word for it, because I believe every human can turn this shit back on. But I think that we are dormant because of our environments. And I believe that if women were more intelligent in 2025, Nicki wouldn't have a hate train. And there would be so many brilliant rappers who were women. Nicki, we wouldn't, if women were smart, I'm going to just be real with you, and I love Nicki down. But in a world where women were smart, Nicki's flow, construction of her raps, in every way in which she comes with the genius, just a genius level of construction, would be obsolete. Have y'all actually sat down and listened to Doechii? Have y'all sat down and actually listened to Meg, but like what they talk about and how they structure it, and do you hear double and triple and quadruple entendres the way you hear with Nicki? I just want to know, what are you listening to? Because I'm listening to music theory. I'm listening to I'm listening to music as I'm listening to theory. When I listen to the men rap, I hear musical theory. Like, I hear poetic theory. I even hear the cadence matching the beat, matching the tone of the song, the storytelling of the song. There is an art. It's crafted with precision. And I'm hearing that with Nicki, but when I'm listening to the other girls, I'm not hearing music theory. I'm not hearing genius. I'm hearing, like, how much better my pussy is than the next bitch. I'm hearing I'm Big Mama, and I'm hearing think about like nursery rhymes for adult women. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing, like, even though Nicki says I'm Barbie, it's not a nursery rhyme. I'm hearing explicit nursery rhymes for adult women. I don't hear intelligence. I'm not hearing music theory where you can tell she's a theater kid. You can tell that she's intelligent. So I can tell when you were in New York, you were fucking a Yankee. I was pitching to Frankie. Do you understand what the fuck that is? When she said I was pitching to Frank, bitch, were you listening to Frank Sinatra and pitching your raps to Frank Sinatra? Did they go over your heads? When you were in New York, you were fucking a Yankee. I was pitching to Frankie. What? And it's a drug reference. It's a reference to writing, to rapping, to your rap pitch. If this bitch ever sat down and wrote and rapped to fucking Frank Sinatra, bitch, you can suck my ass. Okay? No matter of fact, go suck her ass. Because maybe, just maybe, hell, we all could use. That would be one ass that we would eat. Now, if you ate, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Because whatever she's shitting, it's gone. You mean to tell me you were pitching and writing your raps to the cadence of Frank Sinatra? Are you fucking serious right now? Are you fucking, like, y'all really hating on the wrong, y'all, the villains, ooh, who's the villain here? Think about what I'm saying. Think about how men have rappers in their categories, and they have genius, and we have bubblegum, tippy tom, tippy tap tap, yap yap, my ass is a bubble flap. Like, we have stupid motherfucking shit. Women are dumb for survival. And that's why the world is dumb. Nikki should be obsolete. No disrespect to Nikki, because you know she's never going to be obsolete. But in a world that actually valued women, let me say that again. In a world where women valued women, there would not be a hate train for Nikki at all. Because if you don't think that Coach Sanders doesn't get up in there and let them motherfuckers have it, and they go out there and do a fantastic job on the field, if you don't think that some of your best coaches, some of your best CEOs, some of your best team leads that are male, don't go and jump inside the ass of their male employees, team members, players, and cuss them and their mama and everything about them, and even say, yeah, your mom was sucking my dick. You don't think that these motherfuckers don't get in there and psychologically piss off those boys to a point where those boys need to think differently and improve and expand the way that they think? You got another thing coming. But instead, we want to fake friendship. Girl, we like each other. Oh my God, girl power. And fucking hate each other. Right? All so that we can appeal to someone, sit up under that person so we can survive. You don't understand why Megan is suicidally depressed right now? All of that shit in that career, allegedly, all of those men she done fucked to be in that career. And she ain't with the one she actually want to be with. And y'all bitches be carrying the shit like, oh my God, it's finally love. Oh, do we see marriage? What? Do you understand why she drinks that much? She drank that much to just do some normal shit. Not to be the first of anything, not to actually break through for real. Outside of payola and outside of being a favorite. Like, why do y'all like people? Like, why do y'all like, we are dumb as a society because women are dumb. Women do not think. If women thought at the same capacity or were allowed to be in positions in which challenged our intelligence, when you combine that level of intelligence and that level of performance with the sensory of woman, the emotional intelligence capability of woman, you have something that is like a Terminator. You have artificial intelligence. Women used to be so smart that it is what prompted men to do hard labor. to be inspired. Listen, they didn't say the muses were, the muses, think about what I'm saying to you. The muses were forced women in Roman Greco society. Look up what muses are. There's a muse for comedy. There's a muse for science. There's all of these different muses are women that are prostitutes, but they inspired men to write comedies, to write dramas, to write epics, to write books, to think about the world, like to come up with poetry. They inspired men, these muses who were regulated as prostitutes. Look at what a muse is. Did you think the muse was just cute? They say that you can even go in, and I'm a muse. I'm a muse and I'm a muse. This is the reason why a lot of creative niggas hang around the shadows here. Bitches be posting shit, ain't a nigga in sight, but they here. And that's why they don't like me. Sagittarius placements, when it comes to the sun, have that effect. When it's the sun and the moon, not other placements, I'm talking about in conjunction with your major luminaries, are women who somehow men just fuck with. And I can't, and oftentimes are beautiful women. And they will tell you, I know that the reason why you're doing this, it's almost like they intelligently know. Like I've heard Nikki, I've heard other, shout out to Queen Ajna, shout out to Queen Drip, Alexis K. Tyler, all of them are Sagittariuses. I've heard them intellectualize their beauty and know that they needed to use their beauty as a tool to further their career, to do the things that they needed to do for women. That's a crazy fucking concept, isn't it? And it'll be bitches that will hate on them when the bitch is doing this shit for you. She's doing it for your progression. She's getting in there, making nice and showing you how to make nice with niggas so you can eat. And you feel threatened by her. Motherfucker give you their shirt off. I've never met a Sagittarius woman who wouldn't give you the shirt off her fucking back. Never. I've fought a couple Sagittarius bitches, but at the end of the day, they cool as shit. But I've never met one who wouldn't literally give you the shirt off their back. And they have the audacity to play themselves down for people that they love. And that's what hurts them the most. Isn't it a motherfucker? They know it's a reason why Jupiter's daughter or Zeus's daughter, Athena, stayed a virgin. Cold in war, cold. One of the most beautiful. They said Athena's beauty rivaled that of Venus or Aphrodite. Okay, and she was a war goddess. To the point where I think what it really means is that they split off what each of the goddesses represented, because again, the reduction in female deities, because most goddesses of fertility, sex, and beauty were also war goddesses. Okay, because beauty and fertility is a violent thing. Okay? So if we lived in a much more, if women were smart, they would be annoyed by every other female rapper and disappointed by the ones who came before Nicki. And Nicki would be obsolete. Respected, loved, and cherished. Highly respected. Very much. Even more paid. Probably Taylor Swift wouldn't have more money than Nicki Minaj. I can guarantee you that. I can 1,000% guarantee you that. Jay-Z wouldn't have more money than Nicki. I'm not making a god, I'm just giving you a comparison. Because these bitches are not pitching their raps to Frank Sinatra. I can tell you that right now. They're not doing that. And we do know Frank Sinatra loved him a good 8-ball. The Rat Pack loved him some cocaine. So there's several references there. So bitch, if you ever sold it, what? That's a level of intelligence right there off the top. If you ever successfully fucking sold drugs and never went to prison, that only adds to your IQ. Probably the smartest men are the men who graduate from selling it on the streets to not having to ever touch it and then never got caught. That's a level of intelligence that could take you from being a nigga on the street to running a Fortune 500 or Fortune 300 or Fortune 200 or Fortune 100 company. That is a level of intelligence to be able to survive in a concrete jungle and never do prison time. That denotes that person is a genius. And they can outsmart. They have wit and they just have a mind that is their mind calculates the fucking temperature, bitch. They have the ability to control the minds of people who are regressed in the hood, which naturally poverty lowers your IQ. But to be in the hood, in poverty, malnutrition, if at all, under a lot of trauma, under a lot of violence, and manage to have a high IQ and not do major prison time and go on to be a CEO, that shit doesn't happen. And when it does happen, it denotes it denotes a level of intelligence that should be at MIT, that should be teaching as a professor of physics, thermodynamic physics. Like your mind, you should be a surgeon because the mind allows for you to think in a certain kind of way that can compartmentalize a lot of take a lot of moving parts and make very intelligent apparatuses or solutions to complex problems and multi-layered problems. That is a different type of mind. That is a beautiful mind to survive in very harsh conditions into wealth. So when I talk about these people, I do not talk about them as if they're gods. I talk about them because they are evidence that we are gods. They are evidence that it's true. Ye are like gods. Which then denotes that because women are suppressed and women are the ones who carry the baby, nurture the baby, feed our milk, which has intelligence in it, and choosing the man to have the baby by. If women were intelligent, society would be far, far, far more along than what it is. And there would be such a decrease in violence because violence happens due to the presentation of lack. And when you're problem solving, you're not existing in lack. You don't exist in lack and poverty when you're problem solving. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you're actually coming up with solutions, you're not fighting. You're thankful that the person who comes up with the solution that solves the problem, no one's angry that person is paid millions and billions of dollars because they just gave us more of our time back because they solved a problem for us. So just the function of asking women to be dumb, expecting women to be dumb, and to subjugate women to just sexual purposes and reproductive purposes ensures that black people out of all people in the world, black men, oh my God, like if black men had half a brain as a collected body, you would ensure every girl was so intelligent that she would dominate every sphere, every industry. You know why? Because there's no one who is as race loyal as black women. And black women will pay a nigga. There's no other group of... If black men were smart like any other group of men, they would ensure that their fucking daughters and their women were so smart that their women would go into these organizations and absolutely kill it. Because that woman is going to come home, do all the other things that she's been doing since slavery, and give you the proceeds. Bitches be giving niggas food that's on food stamps and be giving niggas money when they get their child support check. What you think a billionaire woman is going to do? You think Beyonce, if it was there, Jay-Z would be leaving Beyonce before Beyonce left Jay-Z. Jay-Z would fumble and force Beyonce to leave him before it was the other way around. It wouldn't say that Beyonce almost has $1 billion and Jay-Z has $4 billion. It would say Jay-Z and Beyonce have $2.5 billion apiece. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get that? Anytime women, black women, because I don't see this phenomena anywhere else, will share a nigga and be in a polyamorous relationship with a nigga who ain't got no major money to where they don't have to work. Both women hold the job down. Both women have kids. And he could focus on his business aspirations and they're supporting it. That's a love. That is a power that no man on earth has over their women. Just off of pure fucking admiration. For the cases of fucking child support, and bitches getting mad because you don't want to be with them and they got their brother to, and y'all was fighting and woo woo wop. She cut the fuck up like that because she wants you, irregardless to how fucked up you treat her. When Asian women were able to break the fuck off and date white men, Asian men worked harder to become richer than white men. And Indian men said, bitch, you got me fucked up. You're not gonna come over here fucking our women like that. Every other man rose to the occasion and now has a stake at the table that scares the shit out of white men. And I'm not talking about white people just because white people. I'm talking about the elite. But black men are focused on fighting with women who are fighting to be with you. Why the fuck would women give a fuck that you are marrying white women? Why do you think that hurts the women? You don't hear Asian women giving a fuck about Asian men marrying white women. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? The only other group of women who have a problem with this shit is Muslim women, because of some things that are happening in their culture, because white women are noticing that white men are no longer the leaders when it comes to earning money, and so they're going into Muslim countries and marrying those men because those men got the money. Again, who do you see on porn sucking down black dicks? Doing extreme sex scenes. And in order to keep his wife happy, she has to bring in another man. Think about that. So he has to make that pleasurable in his mind. Because otherwise, he will lose his woman to that man. Because if he loses that white woman to that man, maybe that black man will be able to develop industry over him. So to keep control, yeah, I'll go ahead and let her fuck on you. No other group of women are as race loyal to their men than black women or women of African descent. And so to even, the fact that you are not even competitive, you would think that you would do like the Asian men did. They let those women go and run the pockets of white men to send their money back to Asia to improve their circumstance. Now when you go over there, when you go to, what was that country that Malaysia had the nerve to put out, they are one of the most expensive countries in Asia to go to. They put them out of their union in the 1950s. And that guy created, a very strict society. Not, to drink alcohol even to this day is very expensive. There was no littering and all of that. And he took them from being so poor to being like number 3 or number 2 in the world as it relates to, I think they're 80,000, 90,000 is the average of household income in USD. That's in under, it's 2025, so in 75 years, in just one generation, he took them to barely I'm talking about, when I tell you whatever the super poverty line was, in 75 years, his methods took them to being one of the poorest countries in the world to now one of the wealthiest countries, up there with Geneva. And it's a country right outside of China. I can't think of the name. It escapes me as I'm talking about it. So I know it's doable. But if the women bring in a lot of money, even if it's prostitutes bringing a lot of money. Actually, it was pimps who saved the automobile industry using women. The pimps were just gathering the money from the fucking women. Black pussy saved the fucking automobile industry. I gotta find that movie so that I can show you. But the pimps in Detroit, in Ohio, lended money to the heads of automobile industries. Black pussy saved the automobile industry via the middleman, which was the black pimp. And to be a black pimp is sacrilegious, considering that black people in this country were pimped, both male and female. So to then turn around and pimp your woman is insane. It's completely insane. So, if you don't take anything else from what I'm saying, being a dumb bitch is, yes, isolating, and you may really have to work hard, but being dumb ensures that the world, because the world is dumb, we're not making sense of our faculties, ensures that we will absolutely create a slave society. It's not going to be based on race. It's going to be based on usefulness. And if y'all are eating out of people's assholes, I know I just said that about Nikki, but if you really are exposing yourself to throat cancer and E. coli, and you're doing it, that means that your brain and then your mouth is so close to your nose, and if the wrong infection gets into your nose, it can eat away into your brain. Or if it burrows through your eyes, your optical nerves, it can get. So you understand what I'm saying? That comes from stupidness and dumbness. Where's the critical thinking? It's not here because women are dumb. Women are dumb. And if you actually want to make a difference in the world, you would ensure that men and women equally have higher IQs, are more focused, are less distracted, and actually use every bit of their mental capacity. Because what that ensures is better doctors, better laws, better like care of animals and nature, less poverty, because more problem solving, and a better society that actually functions, the return of community and families. Because there would be an equalizer. This would be like an equalizing effect. But the things that we're doing now the things that we are focused on now, and the way we hate people for being excellent, for pushing the envelope, is the evidence of stupidity. It's the evidence of lack of excellence. It is the evidence and receipt that we are regressed. And the fact that we don't understand when Christ was born in the allegory, and the fact that we don't know for sure how they put their fireball in the sky and that moonball in the sky under that dome, and how those projections have been working for the last 8,000 years, means that we are regressing and we're becoming dumber and dumber and dumber. Or the fact that we even believe that it's a dome and that them bitches, the sun and the moon, are under it, is evidence absolutely that we're dumb. And I'm sick and tired of it, okay? I don't think I'm the smartest person on the planet. I think that I need to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think that I think too much. But the fact that there aren't communities that think like this, or worse, they're fucked with if they think like this, or they're suppressed, it's a fucking shame. And that is like I think we're willingly putting ourselves into slavery. We can't even do divergent. You know that? We can't even be divergent. We should be at divergent level right now. We should be at candor. We should be, listen, we can't even do that as a society. That's how fucking nuts this is. So, you know, in about 50 years, if we continue going the way we are, everyone is going to believe that Daddy Lion is who's feeding baby girl lioness. Y'all have a good one.